The sky above the alien planet was dark, filled with red clouds that never moved. There was no sun, no blue sky, no birds, only machines, guards, and chains. Hana was 17. She was a quiet girl with long black hair and tired eyes. She came, with the last group of humans brought by the Vrelti, a cruel insect-like alien race. They ruled this planet and used humans for hard work. Hana worked in the waste control area. It was a dirty job. She wore gloves, a mask, and carried heavy bins every day. Nobody talked to her much. The guards didn't care about her. The other workers just kept their heads down. Everyone here was scared. The Vrelti were tall and thin, with sharp claws and glowing red eyes. They shouted in their strange voice and punished anyone who made a mistake. But the scariest thing in the camp was not the guards. It was the monster locked deep inside the metal cages. They called it a Dracoth. It was huge, maybe 3 times taller than a man. Black scales, red eyes, long, sharp teeth. Its cage was covered in thick metal bars, and even the guards never went near it. They said it had killed more than 20 slaves in seconds. Some said it even ate Vrelthi soldiers. The Dracoth had no name. No one gave names to monsters. One night, Hana was carrying a trash bin near the far end of the camp. The lights were low. The ground was wet. She slipped and the bin fell. Food waste rolled near the monster's cage. Hana froze. Her heart beat fast. The cage was only 10 feet away. The huge red eyes of the Dracoth opened in the dark. It saw her. She quickly bent down and picked up a piece of bread. She looked at the creature. Its eyes were calm, not angry, Hana whispered, almost like speaking to herself. "I'm sorry you're hungry." Then she dropped the bread and walked away. She didn't know the Dracoth had moved closer to the person watching her go. Days passed. Hana kept working. She didn't think about that night again. But the creature did. One afternoon, as the humans lined up for work, a high Vrelti officer came walking into the yard. His armor was gold and sharp. His name was Commander Kashat. He was known for being cruel and cold. He pointed at Hana. "You," he said in broken human language, "step forward." Hana stepped out. Her hands shook. She didn't know what she had done wrong. The commander laughed. "You walked near the beast. You are not afraid?" "I didn't mean to," Hana whispered. The Vrelti soldiers laughed. One said, "Let's see if she still feels brave." Commander Shot raised his long arm. "Open the cage. Let the Dracoth come out." Everyone stopped moving. Hana's heart nearly stopped. She looked at the cage. Guards were already unlocking. "No!" a worker shouted. "She's just a girl." Too late. The door slammed open. The Dracoth stepped out, its claws hitting the ground hard. It was taller than she remembered. The red eyes were locked on her. Hana stood still. She didn't scream. Her eyes closed. She whispered one word. "Sorry." Then, silence, no roars, no screams, only soft breathing. She opened her eyes. The Dracoth was standing in front of her. And then, it sat down, just like a calm dog, waiting beside her. The camp was frozen. No one could believe it. Commander Kishat's smile vanished. "What is this?" the Dracoth growled, not at Hana, but at the guards. Someone dropped a weapon. Others, Ren and Hana, fainted. The last thing she felt was a warm shadow curling beside her like a giant protector. Hana woke up on a cold floor. Her head hurt and the lights above were too bright. Her hands were shaking. She remembered the last moment, the Dracoth sitting beside her like a calm animal. She sat up slowly. A human woman, a worker named Mira, was beside her. "You're lucky," Mira whispered. "It didn't hurt you." Hana looked around. She was inside the medical tent. There were no guards. Only silence. Where is it?" Hana asked. Mira looked scared. "They took it away." Back into the deep cage under the tower, Hana stood up. Her legs were weak. Did it attack anyone? No, Mira said. That's the strange thing. It didn't touch anyone. It only growled when the guards came near you. Then it sat there and waited until you fainted. Hana didn't understand. It was a monster, wasn't it? She walked out of the tent. The camp was quiet. Everyone was whispering. Some looked at her with wide eyes. Others turned away like she was dangerous. A boy named Dihan, a young engineer, came up to her. He looked nervous. I saw it, he said. Everyone saw it, listened to you, it obeyed you. I didn't do anything, Hana replied. I thought I was going to die. No, Dehan said. It chose not to kill you. That means something. Later that night, Hana sat alone near the edge of the camp. She looked at the stars, though. Most of them were hidden by red clouds. Her mind was full. A week ago, she had dropped a small piece of food by the cage. That was the only time she had spoken to the creature. Could it remember her voice, her kindness? The next morning, the Vrelti made an announcement. Commander Kshat stood high on the platform. From now on, he said, the girl will not go near the cages. She is being watched. Hana said nothing. Her heart beat faster. Why were they scared of her now? Days passed, and strange things began to happen. Guards walked farther away from her. Some workers whispered, "Beast caller." Others said, "Maybe she's not really human." Hana hated the words, but deep inside she felt something had changed. She wasn't just a weak girl anymore. Something powerful had looked into her eyes and seen something really different. One night, the camp alarms rang. Everyone jumped up from their beds. The Dracoth had broken out. Guards ran everywhere, shouting and locking doors. Hana's heart pounded. She was in her dorm with Mira and other girls. They heard a loud sound, the ground shook. A shadow stood outside their metal door. Then, silence. The door creaked open slowly. The guards hadn't come. It was the Dracoth. Its eyes glowed, but not with anger. It looked at Hana. The other girls screamed. Mira grabbed her arm. "Don't go!" But Hana stepped forward. Her voice was soft. "Why are you here?" The creature knelt down. It didn't roar. It didn't growl. It just waited. Mira cried, "It's waiting for you." The Dracoth had come to her. That night, the guards tried to take it back, but it refused to move unless Hana came with it. Commander, Kshat was furious. "This is wrong. It's not a pet. It's a weapon." But no matter what they did, traps, cages, lasers, the Dracoth obeyed only one voice now, Hana's voice. And the camp began to feel different. A spark of hope, small but real, grew among the humans. Hana looked at the creature. She whispered, "I'll call you Bam. It means night. You're dark, but you saved me." The beast tilted its head like it understood. In that moment, Hana was no longer just a weak human girl. She was something else. She was the one who made the monster sit. After that night, everything in the camp changed. The workers no longer looked at Hana like she was just a weak girl. Now, they watched her with both fear and hope. Some stayed away, but others began to whisper her name with respect. They said, "She tamed the beast. She touched the monster and it didn't eat her. She controls the Dracoth." But Hana didn't feel powerful. She still cleaned waste, still ate dry bread, and still felt scared. Only one thing was different. Bam, the creature she named. Every morning, Bam came to stand outside her workstation. The guards tried to stop him, but they failed. He didn't hurt anyone unless they shouted at Hana. Then he growled so loud the sky seemed to shake. The Vrelti were confused. This monster was created to kill, but now it followed a girl like a dog. Commander Kshat was angry. He ordered the beast back to the cages many times, but Bam refused to leave. The guards tried pain sticks, fire traps, even shock collars. Nothing worked. It only obeyed Hana's voice. "Come," she would say, and Bam came. "Stay," she said, and Bam would sit for hours like a statue. One night, Hana sat beside Bam near the edge of the camp. She held a piece of dry bread and shared it with him. He didn't eat it, but he sniffed it and made a soft, low sound like a sigh. A voice spoke behind her. That thing would tear us apart if you were gone. It was Taeyang, a young male engineer with short hair and a strong voice. He had always helped others but stayed quiet. Hana nodded. He's not a thing. His name is Bam. Taeyang sat down beside her. Why does he follow you? I don't know, Hana said. I showed him kindness once. Maybe he remembered. Taeyang looked at Bam, then back at Hana. Then maybe that's what we need, kindness, strength, a chance. That night, they made a plan. The camp had machines, tools, and humans who were smart. If they worked together, maybe they could fight back. Bam could help. But they had to be careful. The Vrelthi were watching Hana now more than ever. One day, while they worked, a guard hit a child for dropping a bucket. Hana stepped forward. Stop, she said. The guard raised his stick again. Bam appeared like a shadow and roared. The guard dropped the stick and ran. Everyone saw it, everyone remembered. That night more humans joined Hana and Taeyang. Some were scared, but they believed in her. They believed in Bam. A quiet fire of rebellion began to burn. They stole small tools, hid wires, shared messages, and all the while Bam stayed close. His eyes watched every corner. But the Vrelthi were not blind. Commander Kshat had spies. One evening, soldiers stormed the workers' area. They grabbed Hana and Taeyang. You think you can rise? Kshat hissed. You are insects. They were dragged into chains. The other workers cried, but no one dared move. We will break her, Kshat said, in front of everyone. The next morning, the square was full. Humans were pushed into rows. Commander Kshat stood on the platform, smiling. Hana and Taeyang were tied to poles. This is your hero? He shouted. This is your beast caller? He raised a long blade. Let the monster come now, let it save her. The crowd was silent. Hana's eyes searched the sky, the walls, the gates. Bam, she whispered. Please. No one saw the shadow moving near the edge of the camp. No one heard the deep growl under the ground. Not yet, but they would, because the pup was coming, and the chains were about to break. What happens when the deadliest monster in the galaxy chooses love over blood? What if the weapon they made turns against its masters, for a human girl? This is not just a story of survival. It's a story of rebellion, of heart, of hope. And today it ends with a roar that will never be forgotten. The square was silent. Chains held Hana and Taeyang tightly. The metal poles behind them were tall and cold. Their hands were bruised. Their faces were tired. But their eyes, still brave. Commander. Kshat raised his blade high in front of the crowd. Vrelthi guards stood with shock rifles ready. Humans were forced to watch. Workers, elders, children, all standing helpless. This girl thinks she can control power, Kshat hissed. Let her learn fear. The crowd didn't speak. Many closed their eyes. And then, a deep, loud sound shook the air. Boom! The ground cracked. The gates at the east wall exploded. Something massive stepped through the smoke. Bam had come. Not crawling, not sneaking. He ran like a storm. The Vrelthi screamed. Some fired their weapons. Others ran. None of it mattered. Bam crushed the metal floor under his feet. Lasers hit his back but didn't stop him. He charged through the guards, throwing them. Aside like paper, Kshat turned, shocked. No, stay back. Too late. Bam roared. The sound made the sky tremble. Windows cracked. Children covered their ears. With one mighty claw, he tore the chains from Hana and Taeyang. Hana fell to her knees. Taeyang caught her. Bam stood over them like a wall. His red eyes burned with fire, not rage, but purpose. Then he turned to the Vrelthi guards, and he did not hold back. Claws flashed. Roars filled the sky. Hana turned her eyes away. It was not a battle. It was a storm of fury. The Vrelthi were beaten. The tower fell, the gates broke open, and the humans, they rose. With stolen tools and pieces of metal, they fought beside Bam. Taeyang shouted, "Now! This is our moment!" Mira led the women and children to safety. The engineers broke power lines and opened the fuel tanks. Fire rose high into the sky. The slave camp, the prison, was no more. When the sun rose behind the smoke, the red clouds had cleared for the first time. Hana stood on a broken platform. Beside her stood Bam, the monster, the friend, the protector. Humans cheered. Some cried. Some called her the Beast Caller. Others called her Hope. Taeyang stood beside her. "You gave us something no one gave before," he said. "Belief." She looked up at Bam. He believed first. Bam lowered his head, gently to her side. "Not as a beast, but as family. This is not just a story about monsters and chains. It's about the one small moment that changed everything, when a little act of kindness broke centuries of fear. What would you do if the strongest creature in the universe listened only to your voice? Would you run? Would you command? Or would you choose to protect those who couldn't protect themselves? Tell us in the comments. What would you have done in Hana's place? And if you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-pounding human versus alien stories. This was Rebytales, and where even monsters know who the real heroes are.